Nehemia, by the way, thank you very much for 8 months. Is it just me or does Islamist, when used to describe Muslims, sound like Zionist when used? Oh, yeah, it's absolutely a dog whistle. Oh, yeah, it's absolutely for sure a dog whistle. Oh, shut the fuck up. God, I fucking hate the White House press account, dude. It's the fucking worst. Right now, they have a memorial post, a very seriously written memorial post for fucking Harambe. Today, we remember a legend, an icon that became part of internet history, American culture, and an entire generation's timeline. Gone but never forgotten. Rest easy to a true patriot. Fucking mods. Now, dude. Crazy. Well, he wasn't a chimp, he was an ape. Let's watch. What did I miss? Only the most depressing stuff. God, everything's fucking AI and I hate it. All right, let's watch. You know what? Let's watch. Oh, damn it. Johnny Viral, do you have that Angela White video you sent me? The one I can watch on stream. Repin the message. All right. Let me go. That. All right. Karen, I'll go ahead and there we go. There we go. Do I like gunsmith cats? I do not know. Thank you, Johnny Viral, because I wanted to do more. I don't know. With everything happening right now, I feel like we could use just like a chill hangout stream for a little bit. I'll save the Angela White video for a little bit later. More of an after dark crowd. Not to be the woke person, but comparing a gorilla to actual police brutality against black people ain't funny. I didn't say it was. Did somebody else do that? Wait, that's so disrespectful to Harambe. Oh, okay, yeah, El Salve. No, yeah, probably not. Let's not. Which marathon in that? Shockingly, not a marathon game. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, that's the symbol. Crinkle cut fries, yes. My crinkle cut fries, yes. Oh hell yeah, cheese tortellini. All right, let's go. I want to watch Zoe B's video. Oh, let me. Oh no. Wait. Oh no, that's playing sound. Why? Why? Why are you doing that? Wait. Hold up. Why? Why is it playing sound? Oh, Christ, man. Oh, no. All right, give me... Oh, no, chat. Give me a second. Oh, this is going to be terrible for me if this does what I think it's going to do. Okay, woo. Let's go, chat. Okay, cool. The Educational Seduction of Jordan Peterson.
Check out my brand new music video for Child of Divorce. It's available right now on YouTube. Your one-stop.
In 1970, a trio of education researchers hired an actor to pretend to be a professor. They found someone sufficiently sophisticated looking, dressed him in tweed, and then handed him his assignment to give a lecture
I can't believe the lack of ball knowledge
posing
out here.
as Dr. Myron L. Fox, MD, a fabricated scholar of medicine and education. The lecture, crafted by the researchers.
What is... Oh, I always love this setup. God, I wish I had a cleaner setup. Are those the Tau from Warhammer? Who's to say? Who's to say? Who's to say? It's amazing how few people in chat know what this game is just off the bat.
Was written to sound facially intellectual, but to actually say nothing at all. It was filled with double talk, neologisms, non sequiturs, and contradictory statements, and interspersed with parenthetical humor and meaningless references to unrelated topics. In other words, the lecture was a trap. The three researchers, Noftelin, Ware, and Donnelly, wanted to see whether or not an audience of experts would be able to tell that a bullshit lecture was, in fact, bullshit. And they hypothesized that if the lecture were entertaining enough with a charismatic enough lecturer, hence why they hired an experienced actor, the answer would be no. So they ran their experiment. Dr. Fox gave his lecture on mathematical game theory as applied to...
Can I do an... And Taco Face, thank you for $5. Can I do an NPR impression? I don't know. Like, in a like, you're listening to NPR, National Public Radio. Or do you just mean like the entirely somnambulant tone of every time you're listening to NPR and they'll be like, and that was the final chorus line from Da 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 by Arthur Scorta, who was born, of course, in 1874 and was part of the post romantic movement. Like, what range of NPR are we talking about here? Arthur Bottofa is my favorite person.
Physician education, speaking in a lively manner, employing advanced vocabulary across complicated sentences, letting his speech meander and loop back on itself, his language tangling into a conceptual knot, just as they had planned. When the lecture was over, the researchers gathered feedback from the audience, and the data was clear. The trap had worked. Across 3 presentations of the lecture to 3 different groups of experts in medicine and education, audiences consistently reported not just enjoying the lecture, but also feeling as...
Can I interest you in some brain rot? Mayhaps. All right, yeah, we'll have a little bit of brain rot. Why not? Oh shit. Okay, we're taking the fire. What is this? Oh god. Shit is going sideways here. Mr. Bean and Miller. Okay, that's proper brain rot. Well, we'll say that.
They had learned something. Though it's worth emphasizing that it is impossible for them to have learned anything because there was nothing there for them to learn. The lecture was written specifically to give the illusion of depth via pseudo-intellectual gibberish that sounds good only if one never stops to actually think about what's being said. What the Dr. Fox experiment revealed was that given a charismatic and engaging enough format, even experts fail to see through the illusion. Even experts are taken in by pseudo-intellectual gibberish. Even experts can be fooled by gifted enough charlatans. And if experts can be fooled, what hope do the rest of us have? 2024, Jordan Peterson launched the Peterson Academy. It was not, nor has it ever been, an accredited institution of higher learning. In defiance of this fact, Peterson marketed the Academy as something of a school, claiming that he built it to compete with colleges and universities. Peterson Academy, he argues, can give students a real education, devoid of ideology or any of the toxic woke mind virus that is allegedly
Spear Grifter, yes, we're listening. I'm watching videos while playing games.
Spreading across campuses today.
It became impossible for me to work in a university. And so I thought, fine, I'll go build my own university. At the typical state university, 10% of the courses are of high quality.
What, in your mind, constitutes low quality?
Dull, ideologically addled, taught by people who don't know how to teach.
Peterson Academy, if you want an actual education, join up.
As the splash screen proudly tells us, at Peterson Academy, you learn how to think, not what to think. At first glance, the Academy does have the trappings of a university. There's an impressive roster of professors, many of whom have PhDs from prestigious universities or carry other equally weighty credentials, and the courses promise students access to expansive, thoughtful conversations about big, heady topics like metaphysics and neuroscience and the nature of beauty and great leaders and storytelling and art. These aren't just big subjects, they're important subjects. And you know they're important because each course gets its own cinematic trailer with sweeping orchestral scores and AI approximations of academic illustrations, where the professors humbly describe their lecture series, often concluding that their course will answer life's biggest questions or unlock something deep within the student that was heretofore inaccessible. All claims delivered without a hint of self.
Wonder how Meat Coma Kermit is doing these days. Thank you, Nehemiah, for $5. I think he's honestly, this is a good time for Zoe B to put out this video because I don't know how much longer he is for this world. That dude has reached like Bolsonaro levels of hospital visits. He's got frequent flyer miles at the fucking hospital.
Consciousness.
If the risk of life is death and evil,
God, he's fucking just a... You ever see... Jordan Peterson is somebody who was never meant to be in the arena of politics. He was meant to be a weird drama teacher. You know? He was meant to be an eccentric and divisive but foundational figure for so many young people to encounter. He was meant to be someone who nobody knew if he was gay or not. But they always just, there was just something weird about him. That's what he was, his lot in life. This was supposed to be a weird guy. Just a weird guy. Everybody knows weird guys. Everybody's run into this brand of weird guy. Right? Where they wear their hair a little bit crazy or they dress like a fucking, what's the word I'm looking for? Eccentric.
then you need a map that shows you the way that justifies that risk.
That's what beauty primarily is. We realize a deeper reality. You have to understand what it would really mean to say that beauty could save the world.
You can change.
What? That? Why did that guy look like Jon Favreau? Oh, cool. Yeah, AI art of Rome or Greece. Rome? Whatever.
You can change society, you can change history.
Beyond Good and Evil is a cardinal work, a prodroma to the entire intellectual and political history of the 20th century. Brilliant, romantic, insightful, deep, psyche-shattering.
Okay, like, look, yeah, Dostoevsky is good, great even. Psyche-shattering? Psyche-shattering. You were left shattered.
dancing bit of literary genius.
There's no consensus about what intelligence is. It's a question that has existential, ethical import to it. Because if your IQ is too low, you know what happens to you? You die.
The ungovernables, the ferocious, the conscienceless, the idiots. Don't punish them. Kill them. This.
Oh, no. This is an actual... That's incredible. I've never had this happen. People tell me, oh, this is like finding a fucking shiny Pokemon. This is great for me. I always hear about this happening to other people, but it never happens to me. People always come into my comments and are like, hey, I got a fucking ad for the Daily Wire under this video you did about the Daily Wire. And I'm like, I never get to have this. They're giving me an ad for Peterson Academy. On the video, I'm watching about how shitty Peterson Academy is. Magar, thank you very much for $5. IME, being a closeted gay / queer just turns you into a chud philosopher, so I get very sus about Peterson, Rudyard, etc. Oh, no. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. I don't think that Jordan Peterson is gay. No, oh, fuck, I forgot the ad block. No, I forgot. Dang, that's on me. I said go on my face. No, I think Jordan Peterson is again, I've talked about how Jordan Peterson is absolutely just a wife dude. But he is that brand of guy. I had a teacher growing up, and I had my journalism professor in college. I was just like, I was so sure he was gay just because he was like a little bit slightly older, like on the more like effeminate side with his mannerisms and stuff. Dude had a wife and 2 kids. Like that's the kind of dude Jordan Peterson was meant to be. Thank you very much, Nehemia, for 10. JP, the kind of guy to unironically sit in a rustic library in a leather armchair with a polished wooden pipe and tweed suit in the big 2-6 because he thinks that's what it means to be an intellectual. Yeah, a little bit. Before Peterson rose to fame because of his Bill C-16, where I actually knew him before, I watched his YouTube videos on the symbolism and religion series and thought they were good. What changed him? I think he's very pedantic in that way, where he always wants to extrapolate some grander meaning out of even the most trivial of things, which, you know, the C-16 build showed that perfectly aligns with his personality and his fascination and fixation with like Jungian symbology and all that shit, where it cannot just be something small like you saying a person's pronouns is a form of respect. No, it has to be emblematic of this greater betrayal, this stomping of your personal rights to do whatever. Like, I think it's just one of those things that, yeah, that was kind of always going to happen with somebody like that. But yes.
Force is really different.
For a measly $400 per year, Peterson Academy students get access to the most important, life-changing information available. How lucky for them! And how serendipitous for Jordan Peterson that the world's greatest thinkers just happen to be his friends, colleagues, and past students. Jordan Peterson is, of course, the fulcrum of the entire endeavor. He is the main event. Just ask any of the Academy's members, past or present, and they'll admit to it. Jordan Peterson is the reason they shell out hundreds or thousands of dollars for what is effectively a slickly edited YouTube channel. They join because they want access to the teachings of the Father. Tens of hours of lectures by Jordan Peterson. All his greatest hits, all in one place. They join because to be a part of his organization is to be one step closer, one degree of separation fewer from him. Interestingly, the Academy plays coy with this fact. Though the organization bears his name, there is little otherwise to indicate the importance of the man himself. It is Peterson Academy, yes, but Jordan Peterson, psychology professor, is simply one professor among many. His presence is treated almost as incidental. His courses aren't uniquely highlighted on the website, and though he does appear first on the faculty list, there's no indication that this is his creation, that he is the founder, the figurehead. It's as if they're afraid of leaning too readily on Peterson's renown, afraid of being seen as too eager to ride the coattails of his public intellectual status, because to do so would be to admit what all of us already know.
Hello? Yeah, full $400 dues. Allie Ray, thank you very much for the raid.
Everyone is just
fake
there
Academy
for
over here.
Peterson.
Hey,
but the Academy has to pretend it's not the case because that would give up the game. To admit that the whole endeavor hinges on the fleeting internet fame of one man would be to admit that this school is, in fact, not a real school.
But in that way, it's also, you know, like, Jordan Peterson is the same kind of pseudo-intellectual as Dennis Prager, where they think that just because they've read a book that they understand it enough to teach a fucking course on it. As how you get people who are psychiatrists and psychologists who will try and talk about Russian literature like Dostoevsky. It's like this you read it. I don't know how much of it he like got, if it shattered his psyche.
He can't take advantage of Peterson's marketability because that's not what schools do. That's what media companies and content creators do, and they're not a media company or a group of content creators.
I do see why you think that Time Splitters 3 opens with a level that looks just
the
like
Peterson
this.
Academy does works toward this end, the creation of the fiction of an academy, which they project onto reality and hope you won't notice the difference. Here in reality, the Academy is simply a media production organization with a social media feature tacked onto it. Their closest taxonomic relative is Masterclass. Users pay a subscription fee to have access to engaging, well-edited lectures delivered by charismatic presenters with some presumed level of competence. In the projected illusion of Peterson Academy, however, they are not an alternative to Masterclass, they're an alternative to actual universities, so they forego the language and conventions of media organizations and instead adopt the language and conventions of academia. Rather than having presenters who give lessons for a subscription fee, Peterson Academy has faculty and offers courses and charges tuition. You don't sign up, you enroll. You don't use their social media feed, you socialize on the Quad. Peterson Academy has a seal like a real university. They have a math.
Oh my god. Making like inane, non-existent social spaces from first principles is so fucking funny. The idea that they're putting together, and Jordan Peterson's like, and they could have a place where they come together and it's, you know, call it the Quad. Even where people can come together to exchange the dragon of knowledge, because this is the thing, is that people don't realize the dragon of knowledge is knowledge itself. This is what it means to learn, is to ride the dragon. That's why at Peterson Academy we call it riding the dragon. Like, when really what they're doing in having the Quad, they're just making, again, from first principles, the fucking most basic, annoying form of shit that game and tech companies got done with over a decade ago, like PlayStation fucking Home. Like, nobody wants to spend time in these non-spaces unless you are fucking forced to, which I guess if it's an educational program, you're kind of like that.
Mascot, like a real university. They sell t-shirts with their logo on them, like a real university. But just as Dr. Myron Fox, MD, did not become a real professor by donning thick-rimmed glasses and talking about game theory, neither has Peterson Academy become a real school by calling its videos lectures and giving users entirely optional AI-generated 10-question quizzes after each one. The differences between Peterson Academy and anything approximating a real educational institution are numerous, as has been discussed at length by Cass Arris, who has a much higher bullshit threshold than I do. She and others have written extensively about how the Academy falls short of Peterson's lofty claims of parity with real universities. Peterson Academy is not accredited. It does not offer certification. There is no scaffolding of course content. There are no exams or grades, no meaningful assessment of student work at all. In fact, there is no student work to be assessed in the first place. And though the instructors do usually possess qualifications, those qualifications are sometimes unrelated to the courses they're teaching. That's also to say nothing of the shallowness of the lessons themselves.
How are your impressions so good? Is that what voice training does? No, that's what being an autistic child with vocal stems does. Like I learned how to do the Stitch voice when I was 6 or 7, and then I learned how to do Richtofen from Black Ops when I was like 12, and it's all downstream from those two, really.
Or the gratuitous spelling and grammar mistakes in their graphics. Many Peterson Academy defenders will argue that we shouldn't judge the organization based on how closely it resembles a traditional university, because regardless of what Peterson himself has stated, it's not actually trying to be one. Sure, they say, it's not accredited and we don't have exams, but those things are probably coming in the future. And anyway, in the meantime, this is still just a great educational resource. On some level, they're right. It would be silly to judge the Academy for failing to be a university if it's not actually selling itself as a university. Even though they are wearing the skin of a university, they do openly admit that they're unaccredited. Crazy, and as far as I can tell, they've never claimed to confer degrees. The problem isn't that the Academy fails at being a university. The problem is that the Academy fails at what it's actually trying to do, too. The challenge of evaluating Peterson Academy's educational effectiveness is much like the challenge of evaluating the educational effectiveness of actual educators, and it hinges on one question. How do you know when people have learned things? Learning is a famously challenging thing to measure, and it becomes infinitely harder when, like in the case of Peterson Academy, there are no assessments. And no, I am not counting the quizzes as assessments. They are poorly designed.
I picked up 2 when I was out walking around. I got to go by a game store I haven't been in years. And I looked through their PS2 and I found some games. They were in okay condition, and this was really cheap. It was like $10 for this game, which I thought for sure would be more expensive, just given how much more popular Warhammer is now.
10 multiple choice questions at the end of each lecture is laughable. In fact, if you would like to see firsthand just how bad these quizzes really are, I recorded myself going through one of these so-called assessments in real time in a video that is available exclusively on Patreon. Links in the description for that. This is so bad. This is not, you should not, oh my word, you should not be learning how to write from this. This is actually not just like wrong and bad information, it's like actively harmful to your writing. Oh my, this is so wild. Assessments doesn't always mean just tests or exams, but can also include essays, projects, and even informal data like
did I ever get a chance to play Jaws Unleashed or Predator Concrete Jungle? Predator Concrete Jungle, no. And that was one I always wanted to, because I was a big, Predator fan as a kid. And I have Jaws Unleashed. And Jaws Unleashed is kind of just, so here's the thing. I played Maneater a couple years ago when that came out. And Jaws Unleashed is just kind of a worse version of that, which I really like. Don't get me wrong. It's still a fun game. My older brother's vocal stem used to be that he would do the Jar Jar voice. Oh, Misa not knowing what that's like. Oh, moi.
Discussion and participation. In many ways, teachers are constantly assessing students based on what may appear as vibes, but is actually a constant stream of information being filtered through years of training and experience. Of course, all those kinds of assessment are predicated on some amount of student-teacher interaction, either through student work or through teacher observations, neither of which are implemented at Peterson Academy. That's not to say that there is absolutely no assessment at Peterson Academy. Even discounting their mind-numbingly useless quizzes, there are two forms of assessment in use. One is a measure of the amount of time you've spent on each course, which, for obvious reasons, is not a good measure of learning. And the other, upon which it seems the entire academic value proposition of Peterson Academy is based, is student self-assessment. In other words, the feeling of learning. In comments on lessons, in posts on the quad,
learning through vibes, man, that shit whips. That's so fucking funny. Just how do you, oh man. You know what, with fucking AI the way it's going, this is what most colleges are going to be like soon. One of my favorite vocal sims is a quote from The Walking Dead where Rick says to Shane, oh God, I'm trying to remember. What did Andrew Lincoln? All I can remember is Andrew Lincoln just always looking like Andrew Lincoln. That man is always so goddamn wet in that show for no reason. I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said, Misa gonna merge now, Ookie Day. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good. Carl.
Constantly raving about how much they're learning. But are they actually learning? At Peterson Academy, students are provided with engaging, well-edited lectures covering topics with breadth, though
little depth. Have I heard of hashtag DC So White? Was that I think that was a couple months ago, right? Where people were talking about DC So White, where it was a, just because there aren't any ongoing, like, imprints of, or series of color right now, or series of color, characters of color with their own series right now. In an ongoing. Are we on a Star Wars kick? Is there a fast forward button? No, there's no fast forward button. A personal fave of mine. I love that guy. That guy fucking whips. I'm so glad that that dude was fully the where Jar Jar goes El Salve, thank you for $5. I want to apologize for my comment earlier at the start of the stream. Please forgive me. Of course you're forgiven. It's still going. That doesn't surprise me. Fucking there are no ongoing solo titles featuring black characters in the main universe. And see, that's the most insane thing to me, because like DC has such a great stable of black characters. Well, wait. Isn't Absolute Catwoman coming out? Because they based her, isn't she? Oh, it's a limited. Okay. You want to buy some death sticks? You don't want to sell me death sticks. I don't want to sell you death sticks. See, don't get my Star Wars autism started. I have... Mind tricks don't work on me. Only money. Think you are some Jedi waving your hand around like that? I'm out of all my juices. Out of all my drinks. Terrible time. What are my opinions on sand? Of course. Gets everywhere. Rough. Irritating. Absolute Static Shock would whip. You want to go home and rethink your life. I want to go home and rethink my life. God, what a fucking... Oh. See, like, that's the reason why, for whatever George Lucas's myriad problems with writing and pacing and tone and all that shit, you're not going to get that shit from the people who are making Star Wars now. Like, you're not going to get, hey, what if one of the main characters just does a Jedi mind trick to convince a drug dealer to change their life? And that's just a cutaway gag for 2 seconds. No, because now with Dave Filoni and fucking Jon Favreau, every cutaway has to be a fucking reference to something. It has to be like the time fucking Poe found the training droid, the training probe. And like that's the cutaway now. It's never it's not, yeah. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Serious opinion on Darth Jar Jar theory. It's funny. It's funny, but I think it's kind of dumb. Did I see Mando and Grogu? Fuck no. I haven't seen like a big like Marvel or Star Wars, any like of the tentpole film. I think the last one I saw of like any of the big, it was fucking Superman last year. Pretty sure. Because I didn't see Avatar. I don't watch any, pretty much Disney makes it. I don't give a shit. I'm out here watching like silent Japanese movies from the early 1900s. Alrighty. I did. I have seen the Lego Star Wars Darth Jar Jar. Deadly Class. I have not.
Which they can watch at their own pace, even binging if they want to.
Making videos on the suffering,
for which
yeah.
any supplemental work, such as discussion with other students.
Sorry. People are giving money. Let me read. Matoko Colster, thank you very much for following. The Goblin Culinarian, thank you for 50 bits. We have to deal with the new Mando Man and Grogu thing at work, and we have to pretend to know from Star Wars. All Sci-Fi peaked in 1995 with Babylon 5 with Peter Jurasik and his awesome hair. That is a take. You've certainly managed to have a take.
Is entirely voluntary and ungraded. There is no interaction with lecturers, and there are no textbooks. Believe it or not, these conditions are not conducive to learning. For one thing, research has shown time and time again that lectures are not the most...
Oh yeah, Awesome 406. I straight up scoffed at episode 9 like really loud in the theaters. I've seen worse big franchise movies. Fucking Fallen Kingdom comes to mind. But yeah, walking out of episode 9 like did feel like something. There was a kind of ignorant joy that I had clung to for far too long. That I just like there was a little piece of me that died, which is fine. Like you're supposed to fucking grow
effective educational
at a
tools.
certain
Now,
point.
they can be useful in very specific
Nathan, the Suffering vid was very good. Hope it's performing good. It's not doing great. I'll be honest. It's not doing as much as I would like. And I asked earlier if you are on Twitter, if you're on Blue Sky, if you're on Reddit, anywhere, if you can share that video anywhere to a group, to a Discord, please go do so. I want to do more content like that. I want to, like, being able to dive into history, and even though it's, terrible, it's so much more engaging. I feel so much more educated. I feel I am so much more interested in a topic like, explaining how a video game or how a piece of media is related to actual, systemic issues or whatever form it takes. Like, that is so much better on my mental health and a much faster turnaround than doing shit like the deep dives into people like Destiny or Brianna Wu. So yeah, if y'all can go help, comment, share it, however, it's very much appreciated.
Circumstances, especially when supplemented with other teaching strategies, but people simply do not actually learn very well from lectures. This is not to say that no learning is possible in lecture-based environments, even in hard STEM subjects where lectures are more common and potentially less engaging. They make up just one part of the whole educational landscape. There are tests and homework questions and labs and office hours and TAs and study groups and a dozen other elements that offset some of the downsides of the passive lecture model. Peterson Academy, though, has none of these. The relative ineffectiveness of lectures comes from the fact that, cognitively speaking, lectures are easy, especially if the lecturer is engaging and entertaining and strings us along with a good story, making ideas feel inevitable and weighty one after another in satisfying, if choreographed, mental leaps. The problem is that there are reams of pedagogy studies showing that learning happens with effort. The more effort your brain has to put in, the more you learn. But the inverse is also true.
I would kind of like to see some, like I'm not doubting that she has sources for this, but I'd like to see it on the screen.
The easier, smoother, and more attractive something is, the less you're probably learning. This includes what's called instructor fluency, which is essentially how engaging and put together a teacher appears to students. Instructors who speak well and are animated and organized and passionate and engaging make you feel like you're learning.
Let me out of here.
But studies have found that those have no bearing on actual learning. Unfortunately for us, our stubborn human brains tend to get things backwards because they are lazy little creatures who want to do as little work as possible. They trick us into thinking that learning, because it is hard, feels bad. And lectures, which are easy though not actually conducive to learning, feel good. Regardless of the protestations of our lazy brains, though, easy is, in fact, not better, and is actually in many cases worse because it can convince us that what is good for us isn't. As one study explained, when students experience the increased cognitive effort associated with active learning, they initially take that effort to signify poorer learning. In other words, we can't trust our brains to actually know something and to retain with the edge place. To determine actual levels of learning, there would have to be some sort of assessment, which, again, would be sort of a long shot to try to implement as the Academy currently stands. That so many students believe they're learning when they're not isn't surprising, but it does echo a broader trend I've noticed in educational spaces on the internet. No one seems to know what learning is. It seems like most people think education and learning are just about the passive consumption of information, reading books and listening to lectures and watching videos. Education equals information equals content. So the more content you let wash over you, the more information gets absorbed by your hungry little brain, the more education you've received. This may feel like learning, and indeed on some level it is a necessary step toward learning, but learning is a participatory activity, not a passive one. And most importantly, it requires friction. If there is no friction, there is no learning. Peterson Academy's classes may be on a basic level technically educational. Information is being presented, knowledge is being transferred, but they are not an education, and suggesting otherwise is either ignorant or dishonest. Jordan Peterson is either ignorant of basic pedagogy or he's operating dishonestly and knows the Academy isn't actually providing what he claims it is. What he's done with this Academy is created a series of well-edited 8-hour-long TED Talks and then turned around and sold them as university lectures, if not entire full-blown university courses. It is snake oil at best and theft at worst. But the students, bless their hearts, don't care. They're not here because of what Peterson Academy actually provides them. They're not here because they're actually learning. They're here because it feels like they're learning. And as the research shows us, most people can't tell the difference.
Patients around the world are cleaning their retainers wrong. Here are the 3 worst ways to clean your retainer. 1. Brushing. This is really common, but can actually cause irreversible damage to your retainer. Harsh plastic bristles cause micro scratches that trap harmful bacteria, which release enamel-eroding acids that could lead to teeth stain. 2. Chemical solution.
The administrators of Peterson Academy know this. I would wager, in fact, that they're betting on it. They are betting on their audience not being able to tell the difference between a real education and the capital C content produced by Peterson Academy. I wouldn't be surprised if their target audience is people who don't know any better, which, to be clear, isn't exclusive to people who didn't attend college or university. Plenty of Peterson Academy students have, and they are just as susceptible to the illusion of learning as anyone. Remember the Dr. Fox experiment. Even experts can be fooled into thinking they're learning, even when they're not. Add to this a broad spectrum resentment toward traditional academia, the idea that their university was ideologically corrupted or intellectually stifling, the feeling that their professors were less engaging than the ones at Peterson Academy, that texts and lessons were less interesting, and the community that they were supposed to find on campus was less welcoming and intellectually stimulating, and the appeal is clear. Peterson Academy offers students the feeling of attending university with none of the challenge. They won't have to read any of the books they didn't like or attend class at specific hours, but they'll still get to feel like they're learning. Past this academic resentment, a more disheartening trend among Peterson Academy students is just how many joined while near rock bottom. A young woman going through a messy divorce while being ostracized by her church for having the strength to separate from her abuser, while also dealing with the death of her sister. A young man struggling to make ends meet and find his purpose in life after separating from his girlfriend and dropping out of school after just 1 year. A woman who left her church, trying to find meaning and direction after being frustrated with her traditional university education. The Peterson Academy student body is a grab bag of infinite permutations and combinations of mix and match struggles. Divorces, dropouts, money troubles, faith troubles, always a frustration with academia. The one constant thread across every story is, of course, Jordan Peterson. His books gave them structure when they most needed it. His lectures opened their mind to new possibilities. He saved them, and now their savior has opened a school. Of course they joined it. The allure of Peterson Academy is not just its Jordan Peterson content, but its promise to students of something larger. Access to big, important ideas taught by big, important people. When it first launched, there was also the promise of being part of the beta phase, being torchbearers for the Academy, getting to help build something that their hero had sworn was going to be an antidote to one of society's great ills. All of this, plus the acknowledgement of their academic resentment and the self-help scaffolding of the whole endeavor, offering them a way out of whatever miasma they're stuck in, is then wrapped in the pomp and circumstance of academia, but not academia as it exists in reality, all messy and bureaucratic and ultimately banal. No, Peterson Academy uses a Hollywood simulacra of academia, the aesthetic, the idea of academia, to sell its product to students. What matters is not the accuracy of their performance, but how it feels. As long as Peterson Academy feels like a real education, students will keep paying for it. Peterson Academy is not a school. It is a business that sells the feeling of going to school. It's the academic equivalent of a Renaissance festival. It's not an accurate recreation of medieval life, to be sure, but it looks just like the movies, and that's close enough for you. Students, for the most part, are either ignorant of this or more likely willing to play along with the charade. They know they won't be receiving a diploma, but they're happy to pay tuition anyway because it's part of the act. Peterson Academy performs the part of a real school, and their customers perform the part of real students, and the show goes on. And I use this metaphor literally. Students can apply, as for a casting call, to be chosen to sit in on a lecture while it's being taped, literally acting as students on film. This part, too, prioritizes aesthetics over realism, since, unlike in a real school, none of these students get desks to...
Like, you're there to just, what the fuck? Yeah, it's probably actually in Tennessee. That's where most of the Daily Wire shit happens now.
Take notes during the lecture. Because remember, they're not there to learn, they're there to look like Peterson Academy's idea of college students, a detail that clumsily rattles any suspension of disbelief. But as long as the school keeps up the performance, the students won't try to peer behind the curtain and trigger a sort of mutually assured shattering of disbelief and ruin the fun for everyone. Some students have come up against these boundaries, unwittingly becoming sacrificial test dummies thrown at the fence to see how high the voltage is. In the first months after launch, there were a few one-off expulsions, such as of one user affectionately referred to as all caps Kevin, but otherwise the organization took a hands-off approach with the social feed. Real universities don't aggressively police student interaction, after all. The Academy and its users maintained this fiction until early 2025, when several students were expelled all at once for seemingly no reason. There are many versions of the big expulsion story, and I promise none of the specifics matter enough to recount here. All you need to know is that from late 2024 through the first few days of 2025, a handful of students engaged in some light teasing of Academy administrators on the social media page in the wake of an unexpected price hike. Behavior that students believed fell within normal free speech guidelines. It came as a surprise then when, with no warning at all, they were kicked from the platform. What's important to note, though, is that in early 2025, Peterson Academy did not have a code of conduct. It did, however, have a terms of service agreement, which included a clause about being able to terminate user accounts for any reason at any time. Still, the ex-students were furious about being kicked from the platform. Isn't this a college campus where people can learn maturity while making some possibly silly mistakes as they go along, as students often do at a real college? One asked. The answer is that, of course, it's not a college campus. It was just pretending to be one. But these users had gotten caught up in the act, believed it for just long enough to get shocked. They thought they were still playing the part of students, and students have rights, don't they? The Peterson Academy, on the other hand, had broken character. Instead of playing a university with free speech protections, they defaulted back into a business, treating the students the way any social media platform treats unruly users. They got banned.
Oh my god, these
that
fucking
said,
officers are
the
terrifying.
act requires willing participation by both parties, and one ex-student decided, well, if Peterson Academy can break the illusion, then why can't I? In the process of being expelled from Peterson Academy, I have formed a different understanding of what it is. A fantastic streaming platform featuring some of the world's best professors and content I adore. Though with podcasts and other alternatives available on the market, I'm not sure I could justify paying $14.50 Canadian per year for it without accreditation. If the events of the past few weeks had not occurred, I might feel differently.
Don't just take classes, take charge. Start your comeback today at PurdueGlobal.edu.
Hello, Mark Barden here from Sandy Hook Promise. On December 14th, 2012.
Bummer.
Several months later, in a reply to a comment on her blog post, the same user...
Nehemia, thank you for $5. Stay in school, kids. Take it from me. Yes, do stay in school. El Salve, thank you for $5. Unlike most kids who hated school because it's boring, I hated my Christian school because I knew I was being indoctrinated and taught misinformation. Many such cases. Many such cases. Yeah, I like how Purdue fucking Global, in a video about a scam university, they're like, ooh, yeah, we need to fucking share that. All right, give me 1 second. I will be right back.
Said this. My theory is that Michaela got it in her head she was running a university and the wokies were trying to take it over. But in reality, her streaming site's biggest fans were just worried about price increases. Yet the act continues. Peterson Academy still has tens of thousands of users who believe they're truly learning, simply because this media organization has access to a studio, some charismatic PhDs, and a copy of Premiere Pro. It's worth noting that this paradigm obviously isn't unique to Peterson Academy. Just recently, we've seen the meteoric rise of Professor Jang, who, in case it wasn't clear, is not a professor. He uses the title of professor and dresses like a professor and uses a smartboard and draws graphs, and above all, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. He uses the kind of language we expect to hear in a university class. But just like the professors at Peterson Academy and like Dr. Fox before them, Professor Jang is simply offering listeners the illusion of learning. But with an engaging enough presenter, who can tell the difference?
I just don't think he's that engaging. Like, I kind of take umbrage with the idea that Jordan Peterson is success. Well, No, they're laying out why. Like, he does appeal to a very dumb sensibility.
I have far too little patience to cover Professor Jang, but the same cannot be said for my dear friend Jose, who has just released a video about him over on his channel. It dovetails really nicely with this video, so be sure to check it out when this one is over if you are itching for more takedowns of faux academic weirdos.
Is this a real stream?
It's also worth noting that, as I'm sure some people in the comments have already pointed out, Peterson Academy's lectures are strikingly similar to what I do, what I'm doing right now, in fact. There are some important differences between Peterson Academy and Zoe B. For one thing, I'm not pretending that my work is a valid replacement for actual college courses, but it would be dishonest to imply that my work is somehow the one exception to well-established pedagogical principles. For all intents and purposes, I'm making the same thing as Peterson Academy. I am just a person with some presumed level of
Blob consumes. I'm probably... Early FromSoft. Well, okay, it depends on what we're talking early FromSoft, because I've always wanted to get around to the I've always wanted to get around to both of the Echo Knight games, but also Kuon. Kane and Lynch 2 is another one I've meant to check out for a long time. But yes, I will definitely think about those. I've already started on my next couple of videos. My next couple of cultural topics. I have one investigative piece I'm working on, or I don't know if it's going to be a piece. I'm still looking into it. And then I have a video on, I'm finally getting around to Hideo Kojima's mommy issues as well. I just started capturing footage for that. And then the real history behind like CIA intervention related to Call of Duty Black Ops. Miss Renee, thank you very much for subscribing.
Competence and a few years in the field, talking at you about big ideas. The most I can do here is offer you a few ideas to get you started and then point you at some resources that can help you to facilitate your own friction. I can't do that work.
You'd think that if DD were to get some bots, they'd have a bigger audience than 160. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm also not doing anything political. I'm just vibing. Like, and while I am trying to get into a more casual streaming space and make more broad content, I'm just gonna have to do it through the same way I do everything else and just bang my head against it until it works for me.
For you. I can just put some links in the description. Unlike Peterson Academy, though, at least I'm willing to be honest about that. At the end of the day, Peterson Academy delivers aesthetics over rigor, the proverbial style over substance. But that's the point. It's not a bug, it's a feature. The whole endeavor is an exercise in illusion, an act. This school, just like Jordan Peterson's other ventures, was conceived to make money. Education, unfortunately, is a hard thing to sell because real learning requires friction, and friction is uncomfortable, so it makes for a very bad product. What sells is comfort and ease and good vibes. Rather than sell education, then, Peterson Academy sells the illusion of it. They're selling not actual learning, but the feeling of learning. If you want to, capital L, learn about big ideas like metaphysics and neuroscience and storytelling and psychology, it's going to take years of hard work, not 8 hours of watching videos. Watching videos is a good way to get introduced to ideas and acquire information, and yes, learning begins with being introduced to ideas and acquiring information, but these are necessary conditions, not sufficient ones. If you want to learn things deeply, retain what you've learned, build upon it, or heaven forbid, actually do something with it, that requires sustained...
What else do we got here? Conservative Netflix is a scam. Look, I'm sure this video is fine, but it is frustrating to have somebody do a video 3 weeks ago that gets more views than any video I've ever had when I've been talking about that shit and having videos on it for years. I really hate the fucking YouTube algorithm, and the algorithm hates me. It's mutual at this point. We want to do Well, the video is just about done. Do we have what else? What else do we got out here? Watch the new plastic pills. God damn. IFCJ.org. Celebrate the bond between Christians and Jews with the free US-Israel pin. What the fuck? What does my ad algorithm think I'm doing? Nehemia, thank you for $5. By the way, I saw that there was some speaking/comedy shit happening with Joel Webb and JP Sears and other guy. Oh, yeah. Let's fucking go, Joel Webb and JP Sears. JP Sears, not Spears. That's what. Why Zionism is great. Confronting a Christian pastor. Satire plus truth bombs. JP Sears and Joel Webb shred Christian Zionism. Rough, y'all. We're going deep. We're going even deeper. Christ, man. Oh. Oh, yeah. I've been meaning to watch Kay's new video, too. This is going to be rough, y'all.
Good evening. With the offing of children, killing of journalists, genocide, the takeover of the U.S. government by Israel, all in the name of...
By the way, they don't give a shit about this stuff because the only thing they have an issue with isn't like the way they depict it as a takeover of the government by Israel, because we absolutely cannot turn our backs on our biggest fucking ally or whatever the fuck. But they don't have a problem with everything else that came before it or that is currently attached to it. In fact, they only have a problem with it now, and they only have a problem with it because it's the Jews, is the way they get to fucking say it. They get to portray it as this, oh no, it's always got to be some stupid conspiracy brain bullshit instead of just looking at the system as a whole and being like,
Zionism, it is clear we need more Zionism. Christian Zionists, Jewish Zionists, whatever. We need more of it. However, for some reason, there's opposition to Zionism growing in our country. And I'm joined today by one of those Zionist skeptics so that we can learn how the mind of a hateful person works. Christian pastor Joel Webb. Joel, do you even believe?
I think it's also speaking to how far JP Sears has fallen. This dude had a much more bright and up-and-coming future like 3 to 4 years ago. I haven't seen him in forever. Satire gold, comedian JP Sears. And he's what kind of numbers is he pulling here? Well, this is only 2.2, but this isn't from their channel. This is from the Liberty Daily. That's crazy.
Believe in God.
As a matter of fact, I do. I don't just believe in God. I love God.
God, don't try. If there's one thing more annoying than watching JP Sears fucking do his smarmy, sarcastic mugging to the camera, it's a fucking wet noodle, limp dick, Peckerwood piece of shit like this inbred. Just a fucking golem they made out of mayonnaise, this fuckhead. If there's one thing that's harder to listen to than JP Sears, it's that. Like, listen to this. This is rough. Nehemia, thank you for $5. I should also mention that when I brought this up, I did not know they were going to be talking about Jews and Zionists. Sorry about this. You're fine.
Do you worship Israel?
No, I do not. And I also don't think that we should be giving unwavering support to a corrupt country that cares more about their interests than ours.
Government run by Netanyahu, God's favorite chosen.
See, because you see, oh, this guy's he's just running in place. Rum. I'll get out of your way, buddy. Because you see, the thing they're doing is that they're repeating the whole concept of the thing they're criticizing, but they're repeating it in such a way as it makes it incredibly clear what the issues they have with it are. And you can hear there that talking about Netanyahu being God's chosen favorite or whatever the fuck is. They're doing the tropes. They're doing the tropes.
Person, corruption trial notwithstanding. So why not give unlimited support to Israel?
Well, because Israel is trying to expand its borders every day. They're trying to ultimately...
Which, again, they don't give a fuck about that because they don't have a problem with what Trump is attempting to do constantly. They don't actually have a problem with a country trying to enact some kind of act of imperialist or colonialist aggression. In fact, they're in favor of it, especially when it comes to things like the blockades we have on Cuba and the worsening humanitarian crisis there. They don't give a fuck about the people there, and this is why you shouldn't let anybody... There's one thing that really frustrates me currently. It's the spate of people who are giving so much goodwill to Tucker and Candace. Like, just stop it. Stop it. Their position being good on Gaza is not based in any actual giving a fuck about the Palestinian people. They don't. To them, it is all a cudgel to use against Jews, to use against this vague anti-Semitic specter, this Illuminati-like presence that so many of these people have just polarized themselves into believing actually exists. Oh, no, it's not George Soros, it's Klaus Schwab. Oh, no, it's not Klaus Schwab, it's the fucking, it's Larry Fink or whoever the fuck. When the real crime here, we saw this earlier with talking about the AI data centers and the ruling class basically saying, well, you're just going to have to fucking suck it up and stay poisoned, fuckos. So we can keep making bank while the economy continues to free fall, while environmental collapse goes completely unabated. And so don't for a fucking second think that their stance here against Israel is based in any kind of principle. It's not based in any kind of understanding of communal suffering. It's not based in any kind of empathy. It's not based in mutual struggle against oppression. It is based solely in the fact that they can now use the dead bodies of tens of thousands of children, their mothers, their parents, their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, the fucking leveled parking lots of Palestine. That's their only interest in this. Mike Manhattan, you hear someone was shooting up the White House a couple days ago.
Decapitate every other national power in the Middle East to achieve greater Israel.
Well, that's just Israel having the right to defend itself.
I don't think so. I think it's Israel trying to become another superpower in the Middle East with strategic monopolies on trade routes and commodities that eventually they may not be so friendly towards us.
Well, God blesses those who bless Israel. Ted Cruz. Look into it. And God wants us to help Israel defend itself by helping it go on an offensive territorial takeover with bombings, killings, the taking of...
Like, this was the thing. I could never even watch... We've briefly looked at JP Sears' shit before, and I can never watch it for long because his idea of comedy is just... It's not comedy. It's just blatantly stating the thing that he believes. Like, that's it. That's it.
Land and whatnot.
It's not satire. It's just like you need to understand. For it to be satirical, you need to first understand the thing that you're satirizing, and you need to understand it beyond just criticizing it. You need to understand how it works in the first place. So, for example, if you want to satirize the idea of U.S. politicians going on and giving complete fealty to Israel, great. Really, really rich stuff there to satirize. But this setup that they have where, obviously, because this is the person who's pulling water for Zionism, and then there's this, completely reasonable, rational person who's not covered in blood, who's just saying, well, I don't think we should do this, and then laying it all out. There's no actual satire there. It's sarcastic. But they don't understand the mechanisms of how and why people are defending Israel when they go on these talk shows. Like the idea that, oh, you put blood on a shirt, that's not a joke. That's just a metaphor. That's just a visual metaphor. Like that's not
So, as a non-Zionist believer, what exactly is your problem with that?
Sucks,
well,
dude.
my problem with that is it's not really what the Bible teaches. Zionism has really been a hijacking of Christian theology just to get Christians to serve as financial support and even military support for a foreign nation. Zionism has been used as an ideology to peddle the interest of AIPAC and Christians United for Israel.
I'm only hearing positives here, but are there any negatives?
The negative is that Americans become a tax farm for a foreign country. We're funding them with
this. You know what this is? I just fucking figured out the beats of this. It's after school specials. It's fucking it's like, hey, Tommy, did you know it's bad to do drugs? Oh, really? Why is that? Well, if you do drugs, your teeth will fall out of your head and you won't ever be able to have sex normal. Like, it's that kind of shit. It is, oh, well, why this? Tell me everything I already believe. And it's just, sorry.
Millions of dollars every single year. And it's not just our money, but it's also the blood of our sons and in many cases, even the blood of our daughters.
I think if all that was true, a good, strong, honest, God-fearing man like Lindsey Graham would have told us. Do you even know where Zionism comes from?
Actually, I do. It was coined in the 1800s by an individual named Theodore Herzl. He's the founder of modern Zionism.
No, it comes from the Bible.
Not really. That's what modern Zionists would...
What people are they making up that says, no, yeah, actually Zionism is mentioned in the Bible? Huh? Oh my gosh, Violet left. I just walked into a guy talking about how Zionism is a hijacking of Christianity, but Christianity is mean for military support. Like, my guy, capitalism, colonialism, power, and wine has hijacked that shit so long ago. 500 bits. Thank you very much, Violet left, for 500 bits. Yeah, and also, he doesn't give a fuck. This is a, if you haven't been here in the past when we've looked at Joel Webb and shit, he is a open white nationalist. He is a open fucking Nazi. He is a complete scumfuck, and the only reason that he's, I don't know, mutually trying to clout chase off of JP Sears is because he has spent the last couple months milking a couple of interviews he did with fucking what's his face? Fuentes. All right, yeah, I'm out. I'm good. I'm good with that. What does the algo have for me today? The Ben Shapiro era is finally over, thankfully. Oh, see, this looks like my kind of shit.
You're watching a toothbrush play Billie Eilish.
No, I'm not.
Did you know that there's a YouTube...
Shut the fuck up. No, I'm not.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Amazing
I want to watch the book talk vid on my own, actually.
Christian Discoveries. I have a question for my Christian viewers. Are you tired of owning a Bible that's just for, reading?
Gee whiz, am I?
And that binding, it's ethically sourced, isn't it?
Boo.
Now, what if I offer...
I want to get to the...
Ruffles include...
I also really chat. Y'all can't see. I'm gonna post it on the big screen. Y'all can't see this filter that they put over it. I know it's trying to go for a CRT thing. This is this is a really bad approximation of this.
And have scripture cards scattered throughout.
But doesn't the Bible say that scripture alone is enough?
Like I really don't like the filter here. Oh no, yeah, that's not how scan lines work. It's making me so mad I have to skip through it. I'm sorry.
On this channel, we talk about life and relationships after leaving the church.
Not mad.
And we also
I just
do
don't
some
like
commentary on the
it
goings
bothers
on
my
in
eyes.
evangelical Christianity. So yeah, just to clarify, that calfskin loaded Bible isn't something we just made up for the skit. There really is a Bible like this being sold on
my
Etsy
Bible,
for
cheese loaded?
$380. And you could say
God
that
damn.
this particular Bible represents the
ain't
final
right.
boss of the loaded Bible trend that's taking over Christian TikTok right now.
I've disliked videos for less. It's crazy.
I'm so excited about this. Standard Bible, mega loaded. It has a ton of tabs on the top. Yes, let's see. There's so much in here. Like every single page has something.
Why? What? Why? Can you not go to church without indulging in like a scrapbooking obsession? This is levels of white woman I've never seen before. That's why.
I'm so excited about this. This was so much fun, guys. I love this one.
So this trend started on TikTok at the end of last year and has since surged in popularity.
No. This is real.
Partakers in the trend often show off their completed loaded Bibles or share their helpful tips and tricks for making them.
So you're wanting to do a loaded Bible, but you're not sure how to start.
Oh, Christ.
I doubt
Oh,
you,
God.
okay? The first thing you're going to do is what you should do before anything. Pray, okay? You should pray. And so I wrote a prayer for my kids here, and basically just asking the Lord to hey, whenever they open this Bible, I pray that they get closer to you and that it can be life-changing and all those things. So just write a specific prayer to the person that you are making this for and put it here so they can see, and hopefully they can.
Okay, real quick. I wanna kill a ultramarine. Does anybody know how long until I get to fighting one?
Pray over themselves when they open this.
I wanted to show you how I add tabs to my loaded Bible. So this
What do you
is
mean?
everything that you need. I'll put everything up on the screen. The main three things that you're gonna need are tab.
This fucking super quiet. I can barely stand TikTok. I need to get back to posting more shorts from the streams. I've just been busy lately. I can't stand TikTok, and one of the reasons is this style of video where it's always the same exact pitch and pace, where it is just like, and today I'm going to show you how to save money on potato chips. And this is a tip and trick that you might want to know that will help you save a lot of money. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take a regular bag of potato chips. And once you've done eating whatever you're going to have from that bag, right, you're going to then take the top edge of the bag. And this is something they don't teach you in potato chip school. They don't want you to know this because they think that if you know this, then you won't actually use this technology. But what you do with the bags, you take this potato chip bag and you roll it up at the top and you flip over the end, and then you just start rolling. And then you take this thing that I have, and it's called a potato chip clip. I call it the chip clip. And you take your chip clip and you put it on top of the bag, and then there you go. You have potato chips that you can have for a snack later. The more you know, the more you can save. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like, what are you for so long these people talk about? Clack the nail. Yeah, clacking the nails is really up there too.
A permanent marker and a highlighter or pen of choice. First thing I do is mark down the section. This is going to be a section for anger. I line it up using the tabs.
I'm sorry if I spiked the audio on that.
After that, you're just going to want to go to whatever scripture is relevant to the top.
This is like some war room shit. What do you mean? What do you mean the section for anger?
This is Proverbs 14:29. But once that's marked down, you take your permanent marker, you write down the scripture. So in this case, I just wrote Proverbs 14:29 on it. And then you just want to eyeball it and line it up to the section in the front so that it's easy for you to reference and it's not all disorganized everywhere.
According to Kirsten Thompson of the Christian blog Saving Grace, a loaded Bible is a brand new Bible that has been loaded with margin notes, annotations, cross-references, inserts, and even personal messages for the recipient. They can range from a few notes here and there to packed full and overflowing, and may even include drawings or stickers. The idea behind gifting a loaded Bible is to equip the recipient with all they need to start reading and understanding God's word right from the beginning, or to encourage them through a particular season in their life. Incidentally, Kirsten sells the materials to make loaded Bibles in her online shop, because of course she does. While some TikTok Christians are making loaded Bibles for themselves, most are giving them away as gifts to family and friends.
Spirit grifter.
New Christians or even non-believers are often the lucky recipients of said gifts. Day one of making a loaded Bible for my atheist dad. My thought process is, my dad probably won't buy, open, or read a Bible voluntarily, but he will read my handwriting or look at drawings my kids have drawn. So maybe my handwritten scriptures or highlighted points may spark curiosity and he will want to dig deeper. Since I've grown closer to God, I have felt like it's been my duty or calling to help him. I can talk about Jesus till I'm blue in the face and it won't reach him, but I have a chance through my actions. In the same way, let your light shine before others, and they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Who knows? Maybe it will just sit on his bedside table, never to be opened. Let it sit there as protection and a reminder that I love him and so does Jesus, and I'm not giving up on him. So you're tricking your dad into reading the Bible by basically dangling a carrot, that being his relationship with you and your kids, in front of him?
That's
if you've
fucked up.
Talked about Jesus,
yeah, I mean,
ad nauseam
evangelical
to him,
doesn't,
and
that doesn't surprise me though.
What makes you think that this will? Sure, he might open the Bible to read what you wrote or to look at the drawings from his grandchildren, but it's unlikely he'll suddenly become an avid Bible reader. Why isn't it enough that he just loves you and your kids? Why do you insist that he also adopt your very specific religious beliefs? And
because they want somebody to see them in heaven and all that bullshit.
With buying cute Bible book tabs and not, embodying Christ-like virtues like self-sacrifice and compassion is really odd.
Good night, Austin
just
Stella.
A few verses before this verse that she quoted in Matthew, Jesus says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." I'm pretty sure he didn't say, "Blessed are those who purchase Bible verse stickers from Kingfolk Co., but I could be wrong. Maybe. This conflation of godliness and basically consumerism isn't actually that odd if you know where the loaded Bible trend might have come from. Word on the street, and this is just what I read, is that it was actually started by Hosanna Revival, a company that just so happens to sell girly aesthetic Bibles, notebooks, and like Bible accessories for making loaded Bibles. This is a reel from Hosanna Revival's Insta. How to gift a loaded Bible. 1. Mark the table of contents. 2. Provide a guided reading plan. 3. Reference verses for specific topics. 4. Mark favorite verses throughout. 5. Write a note.
Mirror X Shard. Can it bear the load? What about the ultimate load?
6. Pray over it. 7. Gift it. Now, I can't say with absolute certainty that Hosanna Revival did start the loaded Bible trend. That is just what I read, but I saw this on websites that are somewhat dubious, so I can't say
I like how you asked
100% for sure, but they sure do post about loaded Bibles.
You saw
quite a lot. They even have a page on their website dedicated to loaded Bible how-tos, complete with links to their products so you can build your own. So they've at least popularized the trend, and it makes sense for them to have come up with it. Given that their whole thing is selling beautiful Bibles, they say that make people actually want to pick them up. And according to their website, when something is new and beautiful, it can become fun, exciting, and yours. They go on to say that their company's mission is to excite women about engaging in scripture by creating beautiful and intentional tools for their lives. Yeah, they're basically admitting that the Bible is boring as fuck. And
is this game on PS5? No, this is this is PS2.
To make it an aesthetic, to make it look cute sitting on their mantle, or even as an accessory that matches their outfit.
The Fits are eating. You're kidding. Where's that thought from? Guys,
that is so. God, that's so fucking. Hearing a bunch of white upper crust women with their fucking matcha Starbucks and their cult book and their Bible, and the first thing you hear in this clip is the Fits are eating. That's what they just said. They said the Fits are eating.
They all shop at Target. The fuck do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like the coordinated co-opting of something that, like, it's like Drag Race speak.
Yay! Come on, Christian women.
Ally.
Valentina.
That's ally. What? How does that fucking vine go? I was trying to find it the other day. Valentina. You know it by heart, honey.
No, I don't have it anymore. It's been so long.
No.
Something like, it's like, I know it's Valentina. Talk.
This is my friend Valentina. She's an ally.
Yeah, this is my friend Valentina. She's an ally. She's an ally. Talk, Valentina. Ally.
Is your best accessory. Okay. So, thank you. But I will say, I think it's because the Bible is in front of me. If your Bible matches your outfit, you're on the right track.
Oh my gosh, it does!
Your Bible matches your outfit? That's psychotic. That's new levels of psycho.
Here's a quick primer for anyone who's new. Ashley is a Christian
influencer. Yeah, like what is it, like a Magic the Gathering thing? Do you have different Bibles for different matchups?
On becoming that Christian girl.
Like if you're
whoever you're arguing against at the time.
Yeah, is there like a tier list? Like, do you have to? Is there like an Evo situation where there are picks and counter picks? If somebody goes with this King James version, you're gonna go with this new international version.
So starting at S tier, we got the NKJV.
The OG, you really can't beat it. It's kind of like the Ryu, you know.
To Ashley,
it's basically a Shoto when you think about it.
Christian girl is one who dresses modestly, eats healthily, and most importantly, wakes up early. Ashley
Bible
routinely
meta.
wakes up at
Bible
5
meta is
a.m.
crazy.
because of Proverbs 31, which says that a wife of noble character gets up while it's still night.
Christian girls need
31 also
grimoires
says
too.
that
Then
a
they need to
noble
fucking
wife
get a proper
considers fields
grimoire
and buys them
situation.
and provides food for her
That's just like a
servants.
blaster
And
pistol.
as
This
far
game
as I
looks pretty
know,
good.
Ashley isn't
Like, the environments
considering
look really
buying
nice.
a farm or acquiring servants. So at the end of 2024, Ashley released a very Kardashian-inspired Christian reality
make a
show
comic
called
book?
Jesus Freaks with her then best friend.
Oh, they've done
and
that
fellow
many
Christian
times over.
influencer Ali Yost. And yeah,
The Bible Reloaded?
I did say then best friend because Ashley and Ali
Hey, babe.
are apparently no
Heresy
longer
grows
friends.
from idleness.
This is a total aside, but
Wow,
they
makes you think.
were living together in LA, but I guess at some point last year, Ali moved out and relocated
earns
to
salvation.
Nashville. And a lot of fans also noticed that Ashley and Ali stopped posting together on social media, and this was really striking for a lot of people because they had been basically inseparable before this.
I thought she said insufferable, and I was like, well, what changed
I think
now?
that we're all really curious,
But
and
she
at
said
this point,
inseparable.
we need answers in the most loving way possible. But honestly, I can't be the only one. Am I the only one who's seen that Ashley and Ali are not
new
doing
gun.
content together anymore?
This
BFFs,
just looks like a
roommates?
fucking.
What's
That's
going
so
on?
funny. This
Y'all are
ju-
doing content separately.
Why?
Which is fine.
Why
everyone has their
does the
creative,
Imperium of
uptick that's
Man-
probably on a different timeline? However,
They just looked at the Vietnam War and they were like, yeah.
out.
Hey, honestly, humanity
Ali, I
nailed
saw
it
your
there.
boxes, boo boo, and I was like,
just a fucking like M16.
you wouldn't do it on purpose unless you're
That's
like,
so
hey, just to
funny.
confirm without confirming, I'm going. And then Ashley, I saw your new.
Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man.
Hey, Scotty. Jesus, man.
You know Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man?
I know from Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man.
I didn't know you knew from Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man.
Hey, Scotty, Jesus, man killed my grandma.
The 1911 is still around. I know, but it's not like it's 40K. You know, it's pretty far into the future. I feel like I could have had a cooler, like a bolter or something.
Your new key today, boo boo. Like, happy for you. And it's okay if you guys are going separate ways, but like, we love you and want to know what's going
I do
on.
kind of like the fire.
Do you support Israel and the Jewish people?
like,
Now more
cross,
than ever, Israel needs committed
muzzle
friends
flash.
around the world.
Oh my
to voice their
God. Unfucking believable, these ads. Hey, I was like, wait, what the fuck just happened? What switched over? Oh my God. Oh.
Ashley and Ali haven't
That's
spoken about
crazy.
the apparent dissolution of their friendship.
Oh, I do get a
However,
bolter.
At the beginning
Well,
of
bolters
this
are
year,
supposed to be like
fans
fucking.
noticed that
can a towel
Ashley
handle a
had
bolter? I
actually
thought
wiped
bolters were
Jesus
like
Freaks
supposed to
from the
be
internet,
super
and
heavy
many
duty.
interpreted this move as a sign that there's bad blood between them. A fan actually posted in r/True Christian asking, "Does anyone know what happened to Jesus Freaks?" One user replied, "They aren't being open about what happened, and it's annoying to everyone that follows
This is
them.
40K. That's what
We
I'm
are left
saying.
in the dark.
That's
and
what I'm
given
saying.
no
Violet left.
explanation, only that the show was wiped from YouTube." Another said their falling out must have been bad if they took the whole series down. They both seemed so excited about it when it first came out. I actually know of
Bolters
at
can be
least
handled
one
with training.
place
Okay,
where
okay.
the first episode
It's just like
of
every
Jesus
time an
Freaks
Ultramarine
still
has one, they
exists,
look fucking
and
huge.
That's on my channel. Drew and I actually
Shouldn't I have a
reacted
las
to it
rifle?
when
I
it
do.
launched, and
I'm mixing it up. I got my
unsurprisingly, we
las
found
gun
it
right
to
here.
be
Oh, these
pretty
fucking
juvenile. The
Oh, that
first
one went down
episode
easy. These
mostly shows
officers have
Ashley
been
and Ali hanging out on the
scary
beach,
as shit.
lamenting being single because in evangelical culture, if you're not married yet, you should be strategizing on how to get married. And like any true Jesus freak, they both end up going shopping at H&M.
Wait, I love brown suede right now. Really? Yes.
That's so fucking
Yes, what do you
funny.
think?
That's so dark, but so funny.
I love that for you. I don't know if I'm a suede girl. Well, I love a good jacket. Wait, this is kind of cute.
This is content
Yeah,
people
that is
watch.
cute. You know? Yeah.
Like I thought briefly when I was over in Seattle, we were thinking about doing like IRL streaming and just like wandering around looking at shit downtown while Fuck the Ultramarines. All my chapter brothers hate the Ultramarines. Oh, there we go. I forgot what was I talking
about? Maybe doing a live stream.
Oh yeah, live streaming. It like, I don't know. I find every time I see even clips of it, I'm just like, it looks so fucking boring. Is that something people? I think I just don't have the audience for it. I also don't think I'm that interesting. Oh, you don't mean that. You don't mean that.
I'm sorry, but to me, this just screams the epitome of privileged. Like, you're talking about how you're struggling and you need to trust God, whatever. And then all the B-roll, I guess, or all the in-between shots are like you going to restaurants and you going out and shopping and like sitting on the beach. Like,
for this store, what the fuck?
I'm sorry? But what does this have to do with Christianity, for one?
Oh,
like, what does this have to do
Grandma?
with Jesus?
Yeah.
And then also, it's just, like, you're obviously not struggling that much. So, at the beginning of March of this year, Ashley launched a new reality show called The Holy Girl Diaries, which is essentially a bad replacement
Literally
for
just
Jesus
didn't
Freaks.
walk over it, right?
Like, watching Jesus Freaks was hard enough for me, but I was actively cringing while watching the first episode of The Holy Girl Diaries. Like,
This game doesn't look bad at all for 2003.
It gives high school realness.
Like,
and
it
I
feels
kept on
very
having to remind myself
like of the
that
era
Ashley
that gave
is
you
almost
Call of Duty, but it
30
also
and
keeps things
not
really
16.
simple, which
and
helps
apparently
with
some of
age.
Ashley's
Some
fans aren't
games
enjoying
from
the
this era
series
really
either, and many are pointing out the
try to
show's
do too much, baby girl.
rampant consumerism. One commenter said,
Looking
"This
at you
to me
first,
is a clear
fucking
example of
time-splitters.
what could be called consumer Christianity,
bucko.
where the lifestyle surrounding the faith begins to overshadow its substance." Another said, "This gives me an unsettling feeling. It's really dramatic. Very obvious materialism is at its core. Expensive cars, outfits, and accessories." Yet another said, "Why is the opening with material brands and a psychic shop?" So yeah, the opening of the first episode shows Ashley driving a Mercedes-Benz convertible down an LA street lined with palm trees. The camera quickly zooms in on the luxury brands of Rodeo Drive, like Dior, Valentino, and Chanel. And yes, it also zooms in on a psychic shop. The episode then transitions to Ashley walking around her home in a lace nightgown while a crystal chandelier
this
hangs
is so
above her
fucking,
and a
like-
$48 diptyque candle flickers on her bedside table. The voiceover is Ashley apparently having...
Like, yeah, it's got to be a lot fucking easier to sit down and give a shit about your $100 Bibles and get excited over this shit when you have literally nothing else to worry about in life.
having a conversation with
Okay,
God
oof.
and
Yeah, that's
questioning
rough.
why
That's rough
he
for
sent
me.
her to LA. Yeah, because Ashley believes that
baby.
God sent her to
Would you go
LA. Has
restart
nothing to do
the
with the
PlayStation
fact that
and put this
LA
in?
is like the hub for influencer culture. That has nothing to do with it, I'm sure.
Sometimes I
restart
feel
it?
like a fish out of water. Sometimes I just feel so
Press the button
different.
on the far right.
Sometimes I
and
just can't
press
help but
the other
question how
button to
long I'm
open
going to
it.
be here for, or why you picked me up from Nashville and plot me into this big city in the first place. So this year, Lord, would you make it so stupid obvious that I'm supposed to be here? And if this really is your best plan for my life, if you don't keep going with me here, Lord, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to
There
be
you go.
wherever you want me to be. And I want to
then just
do
put the other
whatever
disc
you
in.
want me to do. I really just need you to lead me here because, respectfully, I have no idea what I'm doing. And we both know I cannot lead myself.
Honestly, putting aside the blatant materialism, my heart
go, baby.
breaks for Ashley here. I can't imagine being 28.
Can
and
you
feeling
tell I
like
just
you
got
don't
done
have the
fucking,
capacity to make decisions
getting
for
footage
your
for the
own
suffering?
life. That's really the issue with this form of Christianity, evangelicalism. It erodes your self-worth by convincing you that you're incapable of doing anything without God's direct intervention. We'll come back
Jesus.
to episode 1 in a bit, but first, let's talk about episode 2. Episode 2 opens with Ashley rummaging through her overflowing closet, while in voiceover, she asks God how she can live in the world without being of the world. Eventually, she settles on a stark white business suit, matching white pumps and white sunglasses. She then goes shopping with a friend for what she calls hot, modest clothing.
Did I get a chance to play the Onimusha games? I've been playing a little bit of Onimusha 2 lately. A little bit. Yeah, no, the avatars are fucking peak.
And comes away from the shopping spree with 2 large
look at this little
shopping
guy.
bags
Come on
from
now.
Loft.
You can't hate on that.
I couldn't really find anything that was matching the vision. Feminine, but still modest.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes people think being modest is like uncool, or it's like cringy.
It is.
I'm like, being modest is cool. And I think it's like chic and elegant.
And
I don't think you know what those words mean.
That God is cringe, but God isn't cringe. God is cool.
That's incredible. Oh, that's incredible. That is some Scotty Jesus dude shit. Some people think God is cringe, but God is cool. Those are lines I seriously just heard.
Cool.
Oh, man.
I'm just gonna let that clip speak for itself. I feel like any commentary I would have about that would be just like kind of insulting.
Oh, I
don't wanna do
forgot
that
about.
either.
I love this logo.
Yeah.
This one's great.
Ashley
Look at him
then
go,
has coffee with another friend in a park. They sit together on a peach checkered picnic blanket that just so happens to perfectly match Ashley's outfit. While they're talking, the camera even zooms in on her friend's Dior saddlebag, which, if bought new, would cost somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000. The two mostly talk about dating, with Ashley bemoaning how difficult it is to find a Jesus-loving man in LA. Then, of course, they end their day together by shopping at Saks Fifth Avenue and grabbing the famed $20 Hailey Bieber smoothie from Erewhon. Also, while shopping, Ashley's friend draws this really bizarre comparison between God and a shoe cobbler.
Your shoes,
Oh my gosh.
are everything.
Wait, thank you. I low-key need to take them to a cobbler, but we'll see.
Wait, what's a cobbler?
It's like a shoe doctor. Like, in a way, God is a cobbler.
Wait, how is God a cobbler?
You like
I don't
take
even know
your-
what a shoe doctor is.
Okay, so like if you see how like these have little like scrapes and bumps on them.
Yeah?
Yeah. So like you
Didn't
take
they
them
just
to
leave?
the cobbler.
When you're a
they
rich
make it
white
look like
woman
it's
in Beverly
brand
Hills,
new.
like, all you
they
really
redo
do
the
is
whole entire
shopping.
shoe, but still preserve the integrity of it. So it's still the same shoe. It just has a
And
new
yes, that
life.
was a what was
Wait,
the
so
icon
how-
people
so
were talking about? It
God
was a
is a
that is a Force
cobbler.
In a
Unleashed
way,
icon.
yeah.
Because
I forgot about half
Because
of these
it's like
fucking
you go
icons.
with like some cuts and
most of these
bruises,
icons.
and then you get made into
Dark
something
Watch,
new.
Mercenaries
You know
too.
what I
I'm
mean?
obsessed with that.
A word, a
Oh,
word.
Evil Dead
He puts us in a
Regeneration.
new
Oh, that's cool. It's the
wineskin.
Yeah.
But
the
in this case,
thingy
it's
thing.
a new shoe.
Yeah. A new shoe. Amen, diva. Amen.
Yeah, there are no words. Again, this is another clip where I'm just not going to add any commentary because I think it speaks for itself. Okay, at this point, I'm sure you guys are in agreement with many of Ashley's fans. The Holy Girl Diaries is just,
what you know
as
about this?
one
What you know about
ex-fan
Shadow
put it,
Man, babe?
consumer Christianity, where the consumerist lifestyle surrounding the faith overshadows its substance.
No, that's not
Well,
no,
sure.
that's not Shadow
Ashley does have some heart-to-hearts about faith with a few of her friends.
Would you be
These
able to
heart-to-hearts are entirely situated within the context of materialism, from shopping sprees to clothing try-ons to sipping overpriced smoothies from bougie LA grocery stores. Consumerism is such a bedrock of these women's faith that even their analogies about God revolve around it. All right, so I do want to go.
That is some actually really like insightful commentary. Eric Shard, thank you for $2. Clip that shit as your I am receive sound. It's something that like a lot of other people have talked about, but it's not something that I think gets the link between capital and the way that religion and particularly evangelicalism has been commercial, like it has been intentionally commercialized. Hey, by the way, speaking out, doing proper satire, The Righteous Gemstones is a great example of how that shit's been commercialized. And there's actually a really good satire because it understands the people who are behind these things, how they are terrible fucking people, but they do also have their own driving forces. Like if you want a good example of evangelical satire, go watch The Righteous Gemstones. That shit whips.
Back to episode 1, because something I didn't tell you guys is that this first episode is basically just one giant advertisement for Ashley's new pay-to-play Christian fitness app called TreeFit. After allegedly talking to God about why he sent her to LA, Ashley tells God that she isn't stoked about the fitness culture there.
Oh, and can we talk about this for a second?
Oh, hell yeah.
Really
this
not
is
too stoked
oh,
about
hell
the
yeah.
fitness
They're
culture here.
expanding from the
If
movie. This
everything
whips.
is
This
worship to
whips.
you,
This is the
shouldn't
other
that
game I got
include
today.
the way I work out? I don't want to leave my quiet time with you and then rush to a workout class where the music doesn't glorify you, the outfits don't glorify you, and I'm told to pray to the universe or whatever that means. God, I want you to be in every part of my day. Not just in my Bible reading time, but in my workouts, in my outfits, in my friendships, in every part of my life.
Ashley basically wraps up the episode by giving a friend a tour of the Malibu home she's rented for her upcoming TreeFit photo shoot. And she says that she had a prophetic dream about this home and that this is what happens when you pray.
Actually, completely unrelated, by the way. Well, not unrelated, directly related. I went back and revisited Van Helsing for the first time in years. This movie is actually really fucking fun. And I think it's super cool how, like, Universal has been trying since then to fucking, which, by the way, also very funny. They make the movie look more like The Matrix or something. Since then, Universal has tried like 2 or 3 times to make a like connected classic monster movie verse, but they kind of already did with Van Helsing because it had the Wolfman, Frankenstein, Dracula, all that shit. But also the same director and I think partial writer, the same director of Van Helsing was the same director of The Mummy, the Brendan Fraser movie. And it is such a, like, I think it's so cool they let one dude basically just kind of make his own little pocket universe between those two.
Literally is verbatim the vision that we were getting. That's our staircase. Right there.
Wait, I literally saw this.
No, right? This is when I know God's real. How he be giving me the vision of this before I even see this.
Bro, that's
God.
There's a
How he be like excuse me, sorry. A lot of people regularly appropriate AAVE. That's not surprising. White people, it's one of their favorite things to do, is to try and talk cool, or their idea of cool. But it gets to a fucking point. It gets to a point. Listen to this shit.
How he be giving me the vision of this before I even
How
see
he be.
Bro, that's prophetic.
There's a cross right there at the top of the hill. You can see
Okay,
the cross.
we're playing. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's giving he's watching over us.
Yeah, God, because, screw the starving children in Gaza. Ashley Hetherington needs a killer Malibu mansion for her very
looks
scammy
so weird,
Christian
and I don't
fitness
know
app.
why.
And this is very much Ashley Hetherington core. It's just
They
like
made
her
I don't know about
basically
shoulders
produce an
too
entire
broad, but they
reality
did.
show just
His shoulders
promote
are
her new fitness app.
really.
If you've watched my videos about
I don't know, this
Ashley
is a weird
before,
character
you'll
model.
know that she almost exclusively posts content designed to funnel her viewers into whatever business venture she's hawking at the time. From her Honey Scoop online community, which I'm actually a part of technically, to her book about waiting seasons, to her various Bible course programs. They're From what I've seen in watching a lot of Ashley's content, there is no real substance to it. Her videos are simply an advertising tool. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that there's anything wrong with YouTubers taking brand sponsorships. Obviously, I take sponsorships all the time, or selling merch or advertising their books. That is, if they actually have something to say without those things. And as a creator, I take sponsorships to financially support the video essays I'm already making. If I didn't have sponsors, I would still make videos because I care about the topics that I cover. And I actually did make videos for years without making really any money from it. On the other hand, Ashley pretty much only makes videos to sponsor whatever she's selling at the time.
I got Nero's
if she
fucking
doesn't have
harpoon
something to
gun.
sell,
Whoa.
she doesn't really have anything to say. Since
That's
we're on the
kinda
topic
cool.
of evangelicals hawking their wares, we need to talk about the new and kind of controversial product from Christian influencer Bryce Crawford. My favorite.
I decided to start a Christian energy drink company, and
Oh.
here's how. I had my first
This is
energy
Devil
drink
May
when I
Cry
was 18
controls.
years old,
It's
and I was
literally
working
Devil
13-hour
May Cry
shifts every day,
controls.
hot in the sun, on boats in Florida.
You-
and I was
you
drinking them
lock
the same
on,
reason that many
roll,
people drink coffee and energy drinks. It was to get through a work day, or to
square
lift in the morning,
guns,
late night study session,
triangle,
or to hit the flow state,
melee.
or whatever you're doing. But at the end of
And then
2024, I started getting
when you're
convicted about
doing
the
this,
things I
you
was
have the
eating and
fucking
drinking
Devil
and
Bringer.
consuming. And so that started my journey on creating this energy drink company that honors Jesus on the branding. I wanted to make it Christian because
Holy
I want
shit.
people to know
All
we're
right,
Christian.
sorry,
I want
I'm-
people to know that we love Jesus. Christian
having a
founders,
moment
Christian
here.
employees that are putting love, intentionality, purpose,
Hugh
zeal,
Jackman may
passion
cry.
behind every drink, every product, every flavor, every formula. I want to use this more than just a product, as a tool to plant seeds and start conversations about Jesus. But furthermore, about the product, I wanted to make a cleaner option on the energy drink market. Some energy drinks are
God, it's just fucking bullshit. The bullshit just never ends with these people. Silas the Raccoon, thank you for tier 1. Chat, I'm eating a homemade burger while high watching the DD stream. This is peak. Hell yeah. I need a burger. I'm hungry.
offer 200 milligrams of caffeine in their cups. We have 100 milligrams of caffeine, and the best form of caffeine coming from green
It's a
tea
Bloodborne.
extract. Your average cup of coffee has about 95 milligrams of caffeine in it, and this has 100. Great option. We're naturally flavored, and I believe that this option is going to be a better option and a cleaner option on the market, and so that's why we decided to create Praise Energy.
Hey guys, Editing Taylor here. While I was editing, I just had a realization.
El Salve, thank you very much for $10. Sorry, I just read the sponsored by Bang Tempt through 3622. Sorry. If rightoids believe that the chosen people control the world, does that mean they believe they are the superior race? If immigrants are stealing the jobs, does that mean immigrants are superior? No, it's the classic like fascist fallacy, this idea of everybody is at once more powerful than you, but also inherently weaker than you. It kind of depends. It's like comic books. It depends on who's writing.
About the Bryce Crawford energy drink thing. So he's talking about how, part of why he wanted to make a Christian energy drink is because he wants people to know that the founders and all of the employees behind the energy drink are Christians, and therefore they're putting
There's a wall jump. This is just like Devil May Cry. Oh my gosh.
I guess, than non-Christians would, which is incredibly insulting.
Which,
on
I
its
mean,
own.
hey, if you're going to copy a
But
game for Van
also,
Helsing, like Devil May Cry is a pretty good one.
This energy drink, I would be extremely surprised if it wasn't
babe.
made by a white label company, which basically is just a generic manufacturing company that, makes the products and then sells them to individual brands for them to slap their own branding on it. I would be highly surprised if that's not what it was, because, every boy influencer has an energy drink these days. It's like the thing to do, and they're all getting that shit from the same company, the same manufacturing company. Like, they are. I would guess that Bryce was approached actually by, a manufacturing
Oh my
company
God.
that said, hey, do you want to sell energy drinks? You can do your own branding and
I
we'll
don't
make
like that
them
guy.
for you. Like, I'm pretty sure that's
I'm
what
gonna
happened,
give me something.
So when he's saying like, oh, all the employees, you know, they'll be Christian.
Why a shoe? I don't want a shoe.
I kind of doubt that every single employee and the, you know, factory is a Christian. Yeah, the founders of the company and like the management team would probably be part of Praise Energy and more likely would be Christian, but the actual employees making the product and
I want to see how the gameplay looks too. I'm finding my way.
Christians. I don't know. That's just like a realization that I had. I also haven't really talked in depth about Bryce Crawford in a while, so let me give you all a quick rundown. So Bryce is a Christian influencer who gained popularity through his street evangelism content. He's known for going to like worldly places like pride festivals, furry conventions, and he even went to Burning Man and filming himself there, witnessing to attendees and spreading the gospel. Drew and I have actually dubbed his content pornography for Christians because it gives Christians access to places that they're typically restricted from, all while allowing them to maintain this sense of purity. In other words, while watching Bryce's content, they have this plausible deniability that they're not like oogling furries. They can say, or they can claim, that they're simply watching a Christian sharing the gospel with furries. And
Furry mention, let's go.
Different.
Silas the Raccoon, that's good
Recently,
for you.
Though,
you know
Bryce
what?
has become a darling of Turning Point USA. Some call him
It's good for
the
me,
next
that's good for
Charlie
you.
Kirk. He's spoken at several of Turning Point USA's events, and he even went on at least one leg of Erica Kirk.
Oh my god. Make Heaven Crowded is such a vile fucking... Make Heaven Crowded is the type of shit that would be on Righteous Gemstones or The Boys. Thank you very much, Nehemiah, for $5. After this, we could check out Funky Frogbait's video on Christian influencers. Their fellow NBU talks about spirituality and culture. Probably not, because we got to go get some food. I got to feed the baby. The other
Make
baby.
Heaven Crowded tour. He's also more recently started interviewing some very high profile figures on his podcast, like Tucker Carlson, Tekashi 6ix9ine, and most controversially, Thomas Robb, who is the current Grand Wizard of the KKK.
This actually controls pretty good.
Watch Drew's video on that interview because it is wild. Like, Bryce literally just sits there and agrees with him for the majority of the time.
I keep that. That's
In
on
January
me.
of this year, Bryce announced the launch of his new company, Praise Energy. As you probably gathered from the previous TikTok, Praise Energy is allegedly a Christian energy drink company. What makes it Christian, you ask? Well, aside from the company's claim that it uses clean ingredients,
there we
which
go.
for
No, this shit plays like Devil May Cry. I mean, like, it's
an
not as
exclusively
deep, obviously.
Christian thing. There's really only one thing about it.
But it does play like Devil May Cry.
It's branding. There's a cross on the company's logo, and their mascot is called Zion the Lion. I don't know how to pronounce that. Those two things I don't think technically rhyme. Have they said that the company will give out free drinks to those in need? No. Will they donate proceeds to charity? No. Will they do anything that resembles the benevolence and compassion of Jesus Christ? No. But they have a cross on their logo. So not everyone is a fan of Bryce's new energy drink. Some Christians on TikTok have actually called him out over it, and some of them are previous Bryce Crawford fans.
This is not good. A lot of people listen to Bryce Crawford. There's millions of people. And now a lot of them are going to waste money on this God energy drink, and it's just going to fill his pockets with money. I hope I'm wrong. I hope maybe there's a donation. He's donating all the money from that somewhere else. I doubt it. I'm sure it's going into his pockets. But God is not a sponsor for your product, and you can't monetize the word of God. You got to do better, man.
Okay, so I recently
You can't monetize the word of God is such a fucking funny thing to hear a Christian say.
Who was just recently interviewing the Grand
Finished with
Wizard
hat
of
on.
the
What?
KKK,
That's such a fun.
has just made
That's such a
a
fucking
Christian
funny way to do that.
gym energy drink. And listen, I'm gonna be funny in this video because if you genuinely think as a Christian you need an energy drink that is Christian branded, like you are not that serious. Like you are not serious about religion. So we're just gonna skip over that part and go to the joke, okay? I am not a Christian grifter, but oh my gosh, has Bryce Crawford really cracked the code? If it doesn't get more niche of an industry of that fitness, gym people, Christian. I mean, that is just chef's kiss. The beverage market industry is so hard to break into, but Christian energy drink, man, like you just really killed it. Like, honestly, I'm jealous I didn't think of this idea myself, or that I'm jealous I don't have a, worse relationship with the Lord and don't care about my morals and would grift Christianity. Cause I up. You are a Christian. I'll say
evangelist and prosperity gospel preacher Kenneth Copeland.
I wish people would clip the videos they're sourcing down a little bit. Like you really don't. If it's a full 2-minute plus video, you really don't need. You can cut it down. There are ways to get across what you want to get across.
Who likened flying on a commercial airliner to being in a metal tube with demons.
Why have you said that you won't fly commercial? You said that it's like getting into a tube with a bunch of demons. Why do you think that?
This guy.
No, listen to me just a second. Not the people. The main reason is because of the need. If I flew commercial, I'd have to stop 65% of what I'm doing. That's really the main.
Isn't it true that you want to fly commercial so that you can fly in luxury? How much money did you pay for Tyler Perry's Gulfstream jet, for example?
Well, for example, that's really none of your business, but...
Isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, I paid. You kind of caught me off guard here, okay?
Okay, all right, but I want to get to the demons because people are very concerned about that comment.
Give me a chance here, Inside Edition. I love your eyes.
Again, getting back to the comment. You said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
This is Iran. These Bibles are getting carried across there, and so it's incredibly risky.
We're exploring. Fuck off. Why?
We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
If you're unfamiliar, the prosperity gospel is a controversial Christian theology that claims God rewards the faithful with increased wealth, health, and success. Prosperity gospel preachers often pressure their parishioners into donating large sums, promising that God will return their donations tenfold. Kenneth Copeland has built himself an empire based on this theology, and his net worth is estimated between $300 and $600 million. As in all of his interviews with controversial figures, Bryce refused to directly call Copeland out for scamming hundreds of thousands of people. Instead, he focused on understanding where Copeland comes from and finding middle ground. In the preamble to the episode, Bryce says this.
I want to be very cautious by going into this, but also my heart was 1 Timothy 5. Kenneth Copeland is in the latter parts of his age. He's a little bit older, and I tried to do my best to hold to 1 Timothy 5. Which says, do not rebuke an old man, but appeal to him as a father. And so I tried to come at him with challenges as if I was challenging my father and not a harsh rebuke, quote unquote.
Oh yeah, because, like the Bible says, if a man is almost 90, you're not allowed to hold him accountable for stealing millions from old ladies in his congregation. You might have noticed that prominently displayed behind Bryce is none other than a can of rainbow candy flavored Praise Energy. Throughout his interview with Copeland, the same flavor can also be seen in front of both of them. Not long after the episode's release, a Christian creator on TikTok pointed out the irony of Bryce ever so softly challenging Copeland's prosperity gospel while simultaneously trying to profit from his own fans.
Prosperity gospel's so bad, but buy my energy drink. It's Christian. It's a Christian energy drink. I'm sure everyone's seen that podcast going around with Bryce Crawford and Kenneth Copeland, where he goes on and he's really supposed to be disproving the whole prosperity gospel thing that Kenneth Copeland's been doing for I don't know how many decades. And it's really ironic. It's super telling because in the episode, you see there's no substance. It's really just emotional appeals, which Bryce has been doing on all these podcasts he's been going on with Catholics, the Oriental Orthodox, and everybody. And it's the same thing here because there's nothing he offers. You see how much of a mirror it is because Bryce's claim is that Kenneth Copeland just appeals to emotion to pull money out of people. And at the same time, he's the own sponsor for his own video. And besides that, if you don't believe me, why don't you just Google how much Bryce charges for campus or speaking appearances?
God damn, really? 25 grand? Fuck, dude. Yeah, I saw the James Tallarico thing. Alrighty, chat. We're going to go over to friend of the channel, Riverboat Jack. If you haven't yet, please go like, follow, subscribe, do all the things on the main channel over on YouTube, and please like and share the latest video in particular. And I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your night. And we will see everybody Friday, I believe. Well, let me actually get out of here. Oh my God. You're such a